my name is Ed Crotty. So I own a company called Heritage Homecare. So we provide carers to older people in their own homes, and we're based in South Dublin only. We have two offices, one in Dun Laoghaire and one in Dundrum. They're both in South Dublin. So we have about 180 carers. It changes all the time, but approximately maybe 170, 180 carers who are out in clients' homes, and they do things like, get the clients up in the morning, maybe help them washing or showering, making them their breakfast, and similarly they do things at lunchtime with meal preparation, and then in the evenings put some clients to bed. That's our normal business. It's a lot of it is funded by the HSE, but we provide the actual care. Then in the office we have 12 staff between the two offices, approximately 6 in each office. And in the office we work from 9 to 5. Some of the roles we have are very operational, so we have carers out all the time. We're constantly scheduling visits, and we have software to do that, and it's a high pressure environment, so some of the roles are more pressurized and prone to burnout than other roles. We also have nurses who are care managers. They're called care managers. They go out and meet the clients and assess their needs. And but the reason burnout and work-life balance is important is because really you want longevity from your employees. You want employees to stay a long time, and if they're burnt out or they can't have the flexibility they need with their work, then they're less likely to stay, aren't they? More likely to go and work somewhere else. Yeah. It's evolved. When I set up the company first, I had 4 small children, and then the key employee that I hired, who's a nurse, she had two children. She was a single parent, so from the very beginning we both needed flexibility with our work. So I guess as we've added more staff, that sort of culture has just expanded with the company. So it's been, we demonstrate it by, we need some flexibility ourselves, and we show that it's okay to do that. It's more of a cultural thing than a documented thing. I mean, there are some exceptions, like we do pay sick pay up to 5 days per year for staff who are sick, and that is written down in their contract. But other things about flexibility for taking time out for appointments or with your kids or whatever else, and making up the time afterwards, that isn't documented, and I think it's probably better not to document it, because it still gives you some flexibility. It doesn't become such an entitlement. It's a bit of a balance. You want it to be known as a benefit, but you don't want it to be so embedded that it becomes expected. I think as long as everyone in the team is bought into that, and I mean, at the end of the day, people have to cover. If someone goes off for a few hours, in a 6-person team, it creates an impact for the other 5 people. So they have to be willing to cover make up the gap. I guess on the understanding in the future, when they need some time off, it'll be reciprocated. So as long as everyone is on the same page, it works fine. Yeah. Well, the advantages are, from them, you keep your, employee loyalty is, you get to keep your employees for longer if they can work their life in around their life in around their work. I mean, even in an extreme case, recently we had an employee who was on maternity leave for 6 months, and she had been working full-time and in a scheduling role, which was quite high pressure, 9 to 5 days a week. Then she went out on maternity leave, and before she came back, she wanted to change to being part-time. So that was a problem in one way, because we needed her work, we needed her to do the job, but with a bit of rearranging, we were able to give her the part-time that she wanted. So she worked full-time on a Friday only, and she works mornings Monday to Thursday. So that's an advantage to us, because we still have the benefit of her work and her experience, and she stays with the company, and it's an advantage for her because she now has a part-time job that suits her life, which is hard to get from the beginning. If you're not already in a company, it's hard to find an employer who will give you that from the start. So I guess that's the advantage from her point of view. I mean, on the downside, of course, all these flexibilities need managing. So you have to find some other way to cover her work then, where she's not around, just to use that example. And it's harder to do that in a team of 12, obviously, than in a team of 120, where you have more pieces to move around. I would say the benefits of being flexible with your staff far outweigh any downside of having to make up for people's absences or flexibility. I mean, it isn't always about absences either. Sometimes people might just want to start working later and finish working later, or come in late every Thursday because they've got something else to do on a Thursday morning. These small things, it can make a big difference, I guess. If it's organised and managed properly. So, for example, if somebody wants to come in late on a Thursday, it's always on a Thursday and everybody knows that, then people can work around that, and it doesn't annoy the rest of the team because it's normal, and then the person makes up the hour. So, I guess one piece of advice is try and have it structured so that there's no surprises, because it's harder to absorb surprises, unexpected events in a small team. And I guess the other piece of advice is, set the example from the top. If you are open about your flexibility and if you're seen to make up time that you take off for your own personal life, then the rest of the team will follow the lead from that.